Iran is witnessing its most significant street protest in many years, as chants of mullahs must leave and deaths to the dictator reverberates across cities like Tehran, Mashhad, Isfahan and Shiraz. Since December 29, 2025, demonstrators have clashed with security forces wielding batons and tear gas, marking a dramatic escalation of public disconnect against Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei's theocratic regime. Well, the scale and intensity of the current uprising is unprecedented in recent years. In fact, videos circulating online shows protesters inside Tehran's Grand Bazaar chanting in unison, "Have no fear, we are all together," while security forces attempt to suppress the movement. In fact, now journalists and netizens are comparing images of lone protesters standing before advancing regime forces to the iconic Tiananmen Square protest in 1989 in China. For the first time in years, pro-Shah slogans have resurfaced on Iran street, with crowds invoking the memory of Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, whose regime was toppled by Khamenei-led protesters in 1979. This symbolic reversal suggests that the public anger has transcended economic grievances and entered the realm of regime legitimacy itself. The chants are no longer merely about prices, they are about the system's fundamental viability. Now, what distinguishes this uprising from previous demonstrations is its fusion of economic desperation and political rejection. And of course, there is a US angle too. The immediate catalyst for December 2025 uprising is economic catastrophe. The Iranian Rial has plunged to over 42,000 against the US dollar, representing a staggering 97% depreciation since 2015, when it traded at approximately 32,000 under the nuclear agreement framework. Simultaneously, inflation has also surged to over 42%, eroding the purchasing power of ordinary Iranians at a pace that has rendered survival itself as a daily calculation. Food, medicine, essential goods, and basic necessities have disappeared from shelves or become unaffordable. The shock has been so severe that Iran's central bank chief was forced to resign owing as he was unable to stabilize the currency or manage the economic freefall. The protests initially erupted among traders, shopkeepers, and mobile phone vendors, which is the commercial class and is most directly exposed to Rial's collapse. However, the anger quickly transcended these professional groups. As inflation persists and living standards deteriorate further, the unrest spread to broader segments of Iranian society. Now let's talk about the US angle. While Iran's economic mismanagement cannot be ignored, the acceleration of the current crisis is directly linked to Trump's maximum pressure campaign. Well, the roots trace to Trump's withdrawal from the Iran nuclear deal, followed by his renewed push upon returning to office in January 2025. In fact, in February 2025, Trump signed National Security Presidential Memorandum 2, formally reinstating maximum pressure sanctions designed to strangle Iran's oil revenues and to isolate its entire financial system. Now, the Trump administration has explicitly targeted Iran's ability to export crude oil, the regime's primary source of foreign currency. Compounding these pressures, UN snapback sanctions were reactivated in September 2025, reimposing multilateral restrictions and further constraining Iran's international economic positions. Well, not only economic pressure, but Trump has also renewed military threats against Iran, warning of fresh strikes while meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at Mar-a-Lago in Florida. Well, in the end, what unfolds on Iran street represents the culmination of impact of years of sanction pressure now reaching a breaking point. An economic suffocation that has forced ordinary Iranians to choose between submission and survival.